Hello there, friends. I would like to talk in English today. And first of all, I would like to continue our conversation on um, Zoom summit that was held on December 6th in the United States. And actually, it's my brief observation of ideas that were on this uh, Zoom summit in summer. Oh, yes, in winter. So please enjoy.
Ideas and Initiatives of U.S. Cybersecurity Experts, Part 3, the Cyber Initiatives Group Winter 2023 Summit was the name of the 3-hour Zoom on December 6th. Here are its main targets to the Shining Temple on the Capitol Hill, i.e. the U.S. Congress and the whole world, including the participants and organizers of the AI Forum in London on December 2nd. The essence of the summit is to knock public funds out of the Hill and the state treasury and unleash the U.S. private sector without legislative shackles and nooses in its race to the modernization of the IT/AI industry. At a high pace, there were questions, just questions. How to correct mistakes and failures in the cybersecurity of the United States and allies, who will pay for them and how much. At the same time, specific participants from the U.S. intelligence community singled out such QS and suggestions to be more aggressive in Iran and thereby reassure the families of servicemen at bases around Iran. There are 10 of them, not counting the secret CIA stations. There was also a debriefing of hacker cyber attacks in president elections of 2020 with prognosis of the same or newer attacks in 2024 elections in out of the USA. Drop it or swallow it, but the White House is prying into private life and business in the United States before the elections 2024. How can AI put up barriers to it? Relying on AI tools and cadres from the federal state military and or only from the private sector? From the private sector, AI will stop the bad guys with more effective goals and means. These tools are innovative and emotionally more effective. For feelings conquer logic. Discussed AI as a means of limitless faith, religion, and traditional values as a powerful deep macro force while taking into account its consequences. The question is how AI will prevent negative consequences and smooth out their impact on Ukraine's fight with Russia or Israeli one with Iran. So far, AI is helping to supposedly smooth out the misunderstanding of the world community there now. For example, in the way how the United States and the USSR controlled the mutual evil of nuclear weapons. AI acts against bad guys in partnership and without searching for enemies. AI has a collective, not a secret future. AI is not only and not so much killer robots. AI is ready to negotiate without conditions or restrictions for a high level of trust and understanding of the fact that the AI of the PRC is improving, judging by the recent results of its development. The Chinese took a lot of AI from the United States, but not the openness of the society itself. And in the USA, the development of ChatGPT 4 Turbo is a factor of rapprochement between the authorities and the society. Citizens appreciate the government's concern for their free access to open AI. But even this wall of trust can be easily destroyed by distrust with arguing about the level of aggressiveness in politics and economics, including data from AI. Not everyone has IT/AI, but only where some highly motivated mission is being carried out and its execution is monitored by AI operators. Differences in civilian and military business are taken into account by AI. How can it be taken into account? When transcribing texts as prompts about weapons, their cost, delivery, etc., U.S. cyber analytics recommend to be more mature. It is important to restructure neural networks when searching for new talents. At the same time, it is important to remove defense interests from the monopoly control of regulators from the past, united in clans and cliques. It is important to remember that the oldies use the results from AI more rationally when weeding out the old and outdated data from the AI. This is a job for such veterans. There is a natural intelligence in young people with higher indicators of success. An example is Elon Musk, but he lives in an open society where people are used to trust people. It is in the open society that the private sector has advantages over the public sector. Although the government often does not see this, this was a stone in the nest of the Dems in power. And the government is putting up barriers for the private sector instead of public-private cooperation based on AI. In the meantime, laws under Biden strengthen the advantages of the public sector and hide its accountability. Of course, AI can easily optimize all this, but bureaucracy and lobbyists of the public sector say, we will do everything ourselves. Bureaucrats should pass less laws and trust more in the private sector for the development of AI. For example, it is easy to remove legislative barriers to AI in private universities. There are waves of anti-Semitism from Hamas supporters against Israel and all Jews of the United States. And barriers from the AI-powered private sector will spread the ideas of the good guys to the world more globally. AI and knowledge sharing go together. In monitoring over the Ukrainian Lend-lease, it is possible to stop this program without the proper exchange of analytics on the prospects of the end of the SMO with the EU NATO partners. So, obviously, AI is not killer robots and other horror stories in and out of Ukraine. AI is like an electric wire. You can't touch it with the bare hand of the profanity. By the way, at the summer forum of cyber analysts, it was noted that 15% of the success of cybersecurity was provided by the knowledge of technology, and 85% was humanitarian knowledge. After all, emotions always win over logic.
Exactly.
Awareness of the danger from a bare electric cable does not prevent you from hanging a chandelier in the sitting room. The government has a power that the US private sector does not have. But the private owner does not wait for permission from the federal or state bureaucracy. The latter does not see the hidden strength of market economy and the potential ecosystem of investments in IT AI industry with the least errors. AI provides ideas, but their implementation depends on experts. So far, these experts are mainly from the military spheres. There is secrecy, so cyber analysts need contracts for their private sector to help to integrate those teams that are obsessed with secrecy. In particular, one needs to divide functions and responsibilities within these teams. Without integration, there is no control and no optimism from usage of AI. During World War II, there were demonstrations of cooperation between the military institutions of the victorious countries over Hitlerism. At that time, those structures increased the efficiency of military supplies and their supervision. This is not the case in the Ukrainian Lend-lease cooperation. However, a representative from Microsoft claimed corporate control over the risks from cyber attacks in Ukraine, and I saw soft smiles of some who disagreed. What are the advantages of AI? They are clearly seen in the civil service sector, passport control and social security fields. And what about intelligence and in the related business, called the intelligence business for intelligence community? Here is a brief summary of the CIA veterans' experience. For 30 years, CIA analysts sat at computers and did not know grief. Veterans miss those quiet times when squalls of terabytes were dismantled for months. Today, it's all about some minutes of communication with the usage of AI. It sifts through the intelligence data in English and a bunch of other languages. There are transcripts of e-mails/phone conversations from secret agents and ordinary citizens about the military being trained coups. For example, in Africa, which is so close to the hearts of Generals Austin and Brown in the Pentagon, I add this on my own behalf. So how do intelligence analysts master the arrays of information from AI? Oh, and taking into account the data from other intelligence communities abroad, including data about their rivalry with the Russians and the Chinese. In the intelligence communities, there are disputes between regional departments. These disputes lead to phantom wars and later to real ones, as it happened in the last century in Southeast Asia, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and now in Ukraine and Israel. In particular, recently it occurred against Hamas in Gaza, with its support from the world Islamic and anti-Semitic communities. How to master and transform, summarize without declassifying analytics from the regional departments of the CIA and related intelligence services. Is it for everyone or for specific services and areas? These are the tasks for AI and intelligence. AI is already doing something. For example, it develops plans for personal decision-making while assessing risks in the interests of, first of all, the intelligence community and outside the United States. And making such decisions with the utmost confidence is not so easy. Trust is beyond emotion, bearing in mind that emotion is not included in AI. How to evaluate the source and the source from the deep, federal, state, private, foreign, criminal, etc. structures. Meanwhile, it is the AI that understands and structures this mosaic in very many ways, taking into account the red lines in intelligence, such as what is allowed and what is not allowed, like the follows: A. Personal security of agents. B. Responsibility for the data of the general staff, GRU, etc. And yes, MO. C. Clarification of information on the authorship of intelligence data. D. The list of technological plus minus when packing intelligence data is quite a new cybernetic headquarter culture. E. Taking into account the specifics of intelligence communities in India, Israel, etc. From AI, both the format of the presentation of intelligence data and recommendations to use them are increasingly important. For the US Democrats and those Republicans who are bigamists of the both parties, since 2023, tools in the form of ChatGPT-4 have been working. The alleged bad guys of Trump supporters who will become the good guys in 2024 also have AI tools. Meta and Microsoft in China have been attacked by Maoist fakes from their own neural networks. Their Chinese media groups monitored Meta and Microsoft through their actual commercial and educational activities on the Chinese web, in conspiracy attempts to find their alleged harm to youth. On the example of China, it is obvious that the chaos in the society inspires confidence in the intelligence community with its AI, no matter how secret it is. Let me stop there, and I'll continue to talk about AI with ChatGPT-4 and the G5 web in the hands of scientists, businessmen, and the FBI. The latter is preparing to control cyber threats to democratic elections in 70 countries around the world, including at home in the USA. Vladimir Lukov.
Wow, it's a short summary of this part of the Zoom forum on December 6th in the United States. I will continue with observation of brilliant thoughts from the FBI guys and other veterans of the so-called community of veterans from the CIA, Pentagon, and many other intelligence agencies. Now, see you very soon. I wish you luck in all your deeds. Bye-bye.